It is 85% charged, 405 miles. All right, I am leaving my house right now to head down to the shop. So this is gonna be my first kind of long distance drive. As you can see, it is 85% charged, 405 miles. So we're gonna see, it's about a 100-mile drive. So we're gonna see if it's 305 when we get to the shop. And when I get down to the shop, I'm gonna be testing my 50 amp plug-in if I can. I'm not sure if it'll plug into that. I've got a 50 amp and a 30 amp, so I'll try both, but hopefully it's 50 amp that I can plug into. Oh, which reminds me, I need to grab the plug really quick. I need to grab my charger, and I totally forgot about it. I'm gonna grab that really quick and then head down the road, get a good test in here. All right, here we go. All right, I just arrived and I've got some interesting information. So I'm at the shop here. Not sure if you can tell outside. One of the things I didn't think of, so I'm gonna give you a little preface here, is I've only been driving around town and Billings for the first 4 weeks of owning this thing. But the last time I put it on charge to 100%, it was telling me it would charge to 480 miles of range, which I don't think is realistic because that's based on in-town driving, and electric and hybrid vehicles love in-town driving because stop and go. The stopping causes extra regen. So that being said, after my drive down here, you can see this last night, this said 480 miles for 100% charge. Now it says 440, which is spec. That's what this vehicle specs out at. So now, like I said, I started at 405 miles of range, and I'm down to 256 miles of range. So, you know, you think to yourself, that's like 150 miles it just took of range to just go to, that it took to just go 100 miles, right? But I think it's because the range was overstated to start with. So I think it's more like 110, 120 miles that it took to get here worth of range. So fairly spot on. But anyways, that's where we sit. I'm about to plug it in. So we'll see what it does here. I know when I plug it into 110 or 120, whatever it is at my house, it generally, just for like 6 to 7% charge, it takes about 16 hours worth of charging. So I'm hoping for at least double that. So like 8 hours. 8 hours should get me that amount. You know, 16 hours should get me like 12 to 14%. So we'll see what it says. You can see we're at 58% right now. So we'll see what it says to get to 100%, because that's what I'm gonna do. And there's 2 levels. So when I get into this, I'll show you in a second. It allows me to do the use max charge, which goes faster. So I'm gonna check it at both speeds. So, all right, I'm gonna check this out. All right, so I just plugged in, and it is 50 amp. I think 50 amp, 220 or 240. I'm not sure what that is. Somebody will probably know. So I plugged it in, and pretty cool news. It says ready by 1 a.m. Sunday. So 42%, and that's basically like 13 hours. That's pretty quick. I think, you know, I don't even think, as long as you had 50 amp, I don't even think you'd need a fast charger. That's pretty quick. So that's only 13 hours to get 40% charge. Now I'm gonna turn it on here, and we're gonna see. So yeah, it's saying I'm getting 13 plus miles per hour. So I'm gonna be here for about an hour, so I'll get another 13 miles, I guess. I guess it doesn't, so off of 110 or 120, let me shut the door here really quick so it stops dinging. So off of 110 or 120, it's not giving me the option to do the max charge. So usually there's a button right here that says max charge, and I can hit that. So apparently it's already doing its max charge when you're on 50 amp. So interesting, but that's pretty quick. I mean, it's basically saying that in 13 hours, I'll get 42%. That's, I mean, basically that means you'd probably get to, you know, in 24-ish hours, you'd get 80% charge. I think that's pretty good. I mean, I can't imagine I'll ever need more than that. Especially if you're going back from here. The only thing that I was worried about, I'll get enough charge coming down here, going back and forth to the lake. That'll be plenty of charge. The only thing I was really worried about is when I go home, will I have enough time during the week on 110 to charge it on 110 volt, I think, which is 15 amp, I believe. Will I have enough time to charge back to 80% or 100% to get back down to the shop the next week, which I think I will. I'm just not sure with daily use too, because I do drive my truck, you know, a little bit each day. So I don't know though. I think I do want to get at least 220 at home though, 50 amp, because I think that'll help a lot. I think it'll be cool to at least be able to like get a good amount of charge overnight. Anyways, yeah, that's cool. I got some stuff I got to do here. I'm basically dropping off supplies today, cleaning supplies, paper towels, toilet paper, and I'm gonna do a little weed eating, check on weeds, and then I'm gonna head out of here. That this is a pretty cool test. So yeah, 13 miles per hour is the range increase, so that's interesting. All right, I'll probably let you know what it took to get home too. So right before I leave, I'll check the range, and then I want to see what amount it takes to get home, because on the way here I was screwing around a little bit. I wanted to test the limits of the vehicle too, so I was testing the top speed. So I also think I took a little extra charge for doing that. You know, on the way home I'm going to drive normally, so I'll probably end up taking like 10 miles less than I used on the way here. So anyways, all right, I had to disconnect really quick. I'm running to the store because didn't know we needed to restock on garbage bags, so I'm just going to grab some garbage bags and bring them back. It did give us we got 269 miles of range now. Went from 58% to 61%, so I think it was pretty accurate. I probably wasn't even there for an hour, and I think I can't remember what it was on, if it was like 254 or something like that, 255. So even if it was 257, that's 12 miles of charge. So pretty good. I mean, that's I think I can't imagine I need a fast charger. If I just get 220 at my house, I think that's all I'll need. But anyways, gonna see what I get for range on the way home. Still says 269 miles of range, 61%. So what I'm gonna try to pay attention to this time, so here's my range. There's how much percent. This is how many miles I have on the vehicle right now. So what I'm gonna try to pay attention to is how many miles it actually takes to get home. So 627 starting, and how many miles it chops off. So 269 starting. So there you go. All right, so I'm not home. I'm here at grandma's to pick up the girls, but it's pretty close to the same. Maybe just a few less miles. You can see that it says 716 miles, and we started at, I think it was 627, so that is just almost 90 miles. And then I think we started at 267 on the range, and now we're at 194. So what is that? That is 60 plus, so that's like only 73 miles of range that it took off. So I think my conclusion is it was a little more on the way because it's uphill, a little less on the way back because it's downhill. Also, I was screwing around a little more on the way there, so that's going to take a little bit more. I think it's, I mean, for the 440 mile spec range when it's 100% charged, I think it's pretty spot on as far as how I'm going to be using it. So So I can definitely expect that I'm going to use somewhere, even when I'm not towing, this is, okay, because I don't tow most of the year. I only tow the boat down there one time and leave it there for till Labor Day or after, and then I bring it back. So I only do that once a year, one time back and forth with the boat behind the truck. But on a normal basis, I'm just driving the truck down. I will have some more weight in this because I'll have fuel in the back. So maybe a little bit more, but in general, I think I'm gonna use about a fourth of the range to get down there and a fourth of the range to get back, or basically half. But when I get down there, if I've only used a fourth or even a third of the range, I can then, I have 220 or 50 amp, if it's 240, I'm not sure. I'll be able to charge on that and probably get back to 100% before we come home. Because I'll be able to charge each day for a significant amount of hours, and we're only driving the boat to the lake 15 minutes away at 55 miles per hour, so a half an hour generally at 55 miles per hour, so that's probably not going to take much of the charge. So I'll probably be coming back on 100% charge. So I don't even know if I'll need 220 at the house, but I think I'm going to do it anyways, just so that I can, you know, get a good amount of charge overnight when I need it. So so I'll think about that some more. Anyways, that's my assessment on a long road trip. I will be going, I think I will be doing another long drive, still well within its range here soon, and we'll see how far it goes. It'll be a longer drive, about a little more than twice the distance. So I'll need 100%, and it should eat up a little more than half the charge, maybe even 2/3 of the charge on the way there. So I'll do another assessment at that point. All right, it's Thanksgiving Day, so happy Thanksgiving. So it's probably about a month since the last time I was filming about me going down to my shop. So I wanted to add some more to this video. We are about to take a trip to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, and that is a 274-mile drive. It is, you can see there's snow on the ground. It's currently, I bet it's like 20 degrees out right now. It's supposed to be a high of like mid to high 30s for pretty much the whole drive, and you know, getting fairly low at night. We're going to be driving during, you know, I think we're going to be driving between about 10 a.m. and 3. It's actually about a little less than a 4-hour drive, but because we have a 1-year-old, we're going to take a break in the middle. I don't think the temperatures are cold enough to affect the efficiency, at least by much, but that's going to be part of the test today. I think it probably needs to be closer to 0 or even below 0 to affect efficiency. I think when you're in the, you know, around freezing or above freezing or even just below freezing, I think it's just probably helping cool the batteries down. Could be wrong on that, but that's my thought. But that's my guess on that, my educated guess on that. Truck has been pretty good so far. I've got it at about 1,200 miles now. I've been pretty happy with it. Thanks to lots of comments on the videos and a lot of thought. I did decide to install a 240 volt 50 amp plug. So I did that right here, and you can see I've got my portable charger connected to it right now, which does a really good job. I did that for 2 main reasons. Charging off of 120 was actually okay for me because it was giving me about double what I use on a daily basis. So over the course of a week, I can charge, you know, keep charging up if I want to. But I wanted to be able to charge during the cheap time of the day, and that's 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. and that's probably typical with most utility companies or energy companies, and that is what it is with my current energy company. So this allows me to do that because it charges quicker. I'm able to do a schedule on my truck, and it essentially, now whenever I plug it in, it calculates when it needs to start charging to be complete by 7 a.m., which most of the time completes it between 12 a.m. and 7 a.m. depending on how much charge I need. Now this setup here, having the portable charger plugged in a 240 50 amp, I've done it a couple times now, and it gives me probably, I'd say 50% in about 15-16 hours charge, which is pretty good. But I am gonna get a level 2 charger to plug into this, which the biggest difference is thicker wire. I think it's probably gonna come close to twice as fast. So in other words, I could probably get 50% charge in about 8 hours, something like that, 7-8 hours. And the main reason I'm doing that is because once it gets to summertime, I want to be able to have a quicker charger as opposed to 110 or 120 at both locations, the shop and here. So here I will have the one that will be wall mounted, plugged in all the time, level 2 charger. At the shop, I'm gonna leave the portable charger during the summer, or maybe I'll carry the portable charger back and forth just in case. But I think I can leave it there because that's mostly what I do with my truck in the summer. So anyways, I did install, one of the reasons why I went ahead and did this 240 plug is because it only cost me $165. I was able to do it myself. My mechanical room is literally down in the corner down there, and it was about, I had to pay for 25 foot of 6-gauge wire, which was the biggest cost. That was $125 or $124. I only needed about 21 feet of it, but it worked out really good. I wired it up myself. It wasn't too bad. I had a couple questions for a friend that's done it several times, and beyond that, I was able to look at how another outlet like this was plugged into the breaker box, and I was able to do it myself. Anyways, I'm going to give you a couple of check-ins along the drive, on the way there, maybe some on the way back, to show what the efficiency is. So I'm currently charged up to 100%, and right now it's showing 440 miles, which spec is 460. But again, that's based on how you're driving it. Maybe that's because the temperatures lately, it's been a little cold. So one of the things that's cool is it's heating up the inside right now. I didn't even do an auto start on it or a remote start on it, but it's heating up inside, which is great for us because we're about to go. But you can see inside there, it says 100% complete, and it says it's got 441 mile range. So like I said, 274 mile drive today. In fact, we probably round that out at like 280 or a little more, because we are going to go stop at the other grandma's house today. So my wife's mom, just for breakfast, and then we're going to leave at my 1-year-old's nap time. So anyways, yeah, we'll check in as we go, and see how our things are going. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because my mom also has a 240 volt 50 amp plug-in we can plug into. So anyways, here we go. All right, well, what do you know, we are currently sitting at a charge station. I'm not sure if you can tell back there. We're hooked up and charging. We're using the fast charger. So what that means is we couldn't get all the way to my mom's house. So like I said, originally it's 274 miles from our house to her house. And we went to my mother-in-law's house this morning. We still had 434 miles range from her house to get about 274 miles, right? Well, we're currently in Butte, just outside of Butte, Montana, which is about 50 miles from where we need to be. And we got down to where the range was like right to where we had like almost the exact amount left of range that we needed to go, and I'm not going to chance that. And so obviously things changed. I think it's two main factors, because we're about 220 miles and we should have had like 434 miles. I think there's two main factors causing that. One, I think the temperature is affecting it. It's 36 degrees right now, and it's been above freezing the whole time. But the car did give us a warning when we started getting low on, we were down to about 19% on our battery. And it did say, you may want to charge because in lower temperatures, it doesn't last long. So I think that's definitely one factor. I think we are a little on the cold side enough to affect the range or the efficiency. So that's number one. Number two, in Montana, on the interstate, you can go 80 miles per hour. That's the speed limit. So we've been going around, anywhere between 81 and 83 miles per hour for most of the drive. And I think the spec, the max range is probably spec'd at like going 65 to 70 miles per hour. And that makes sense because we did some testing with it. But anyways, obviously and unfortunately can't quite make it to my mom's all the way. Maybe it'd be different if we did this, when it's like above 40 degrees or 50 degrees out.
maybe we get further range, and maybe we should. But anyways, we're sitting here charging, and this is what I was hoping to completely avoid with my truck, but I'm getting a little experience anyways. You can see we're giving the family a break as well. Ellery's getting a break from her car seat. Since we've been sitting here, we had 58 miles left of range, and I'll just show you the screen. So this is the charge right now. So the fast chargers give us 124 miles per hour right now. So every hour that we sit here will give us that much more range. She kind of keeps notching up a little bit, but yeah, we were sitting at 58 more miles left, with this now saying 75 miles left, and that keeps going up. So, and we've only been here for about probably less than 10 minutes. So let's say in 10 minutes we're getting somewhere between 76 and, or sorry, somewhere between 18 and 20 miles. We're only going to go until it's 20 bucks. How much do we got on that thing right now, Carly? $6.40. So we have to control it with an app. I kind of knew that would be the case because I tried that with a plug-in hybrid we rented in Hawaii a couple years ago, and you had to control the charger, the charge station with an app. What was cool is I used my truck to find a charge station, and then she looked up the charge station on her phone and got the app ready before we got here. It also, because I routed us to this charge station, it started preconditioning the battery before we got here. Anyways, we're probably going to be here for, I'm guessing, maybe another 10-ish minutes, maybe up to 15 minutes, and then we're gonna move on. But just wanted to provide a little update. Couldn't quite make it, which is disappointing, but either way though, even if I spend 20 bucks here, it's making this trip way less money than it would have been, especially even if you compare my wife's car as a hybrid. It probably would have cost us somewhere around $60 to $70 for this whole trip, round trip, to go 274 miles this way and 274 miles back. I think in this, even if you take into consideration the charging I do at home, it's probably gonna be more around 50 bucks, maybe 40 bucks, something like that, even including the charge that we're getting right now. So anyways, that's it for now. Talk to you later. All right, we made it to my mom's. You can see I've got her plugged in right there, charging. Turns out, based on, because we were about 58 miles of range when we stopped to charge, right? We went up to 90, so that's about 42 miles it added. But we got here and we had about 44 miles of range left. So it turns out I probably could have made it here with 2 miles to spare. But we weren't willing to risk that. So anyways, pretty interesting that the speed and probably the temperature out took the range down from 434-ish miles of range to 274-ish miles of range, 276 miles, I guess. But anyways, we're gonna see how that works on the way home. We both, my wife and I both think that that'll be, it'll be enough to get us home, because it's mostly downhill on the way home. So, well, yeah, we'll see. We'll try it out again on the way home. Bye, Mom.
You.
Bye. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Gigi.
All right, we are.
Okay,
stop yelling. All right, we are just now leaving my mom's. Bye. It's my mom there. So we're full charge. So we got 440 again, 100%. It is only 33 degrees out right now. We are, technically we got here with 2 miles left to go. So it's mostly downhill on the way back, over the span of the whole thing, higher altitude here. So I think, and there's Wakely back there. So I think we'll be able to get all the way home. But if not, I'm gonna kind of judge it for Bozeman, because we're probably gonna stop in Bozeman at kind of a halfway point. And that's where we'll probably eat lunch. And if we don't feel like we have enough, then we'll probably find a charge station there. Anyways, here we go. All right, we just got home, and I have good news. I could tell about halfway through the trip that we were gonna make it with plenty of range left. So we got back with 22% and 88 miles. So it's got to be, you know, a lot of it was just the uphill, which I experienced the same thing when I took the truck to the shop in pretty good weather. I think it was like 60 or 70 that day. Definitely had the uphill going against us on the way there, and the temperature. I'm sure the speed affected it a little bit too, but I don't think that's a big factor. But obviously if we don't have the cold, we'd probably get there safely within the range. But yeah, anyways, pretty cool, because I'm about to head and do something right away, and I have 22% to do it, which is plenty. But yeah, last thing I'm going to show you in this video is I want to show you the new charger I got, which should be here tomorrow. So I'll show that to you. It's a level 2 charger that I'm just going to plug in and try out and just see what the difference is on how fast it charges. And I'm expecting it to be somewhere around twice as fast. All right, in my garage now. This is the next day, and I did get my new level 2 charger. I just got this off Amazon, so again, thanks to the people who commented on my first video on my CR-EV, because they said you can just get any level 2 NEMA charger, NEMA 1450 charger, because I was just basing it off of the GMC ones, and I think the cheapest GMC one is either $600 or $700. This on Black Friday deal was only $237. It's EVCUBNB, it's some weird brand, but oh well, seems fine enough. I think the biggest difference is going to be that this cord is bigger, thicker. We'll see here. Here's my pinky on it, and then we'll go up and check the portable one. So it's up here. So yeah, so see the portable one, it's about twice the thickness. So this one's not even as big as my pinky. The other one is thicker than my pinky. So I think that's the biggest difference. It's just able to carry more current, basically. So we know that based on my tests, when I went to level, tested on just plugging my portable charger into 50 amp, and the drive I just did for Thanksgiving to my mom's, she has the same outlet, and I plugged in here, that kind of my rate of charge is, you know, it was like takes 13 hours to do like 42% of a charge. So that's, you can do the math on that. That's, you know, with 460 miles at 100% full charge on this thing, you could do the math. So I'm really expecting it to hopefully be twice as fast. The truck right now is at about 53%. So I guess what I'll try to do is I'll put it like at 95%, because that's 42%. So I'm hoping it can do that in around 6.5 hours. That would be half of 13 hours, right? So I'll do that. I'll pop in the truck really quick here. Okay, so you can see it's at 53% right now. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, so you can see I've got it on a schedule right now. So typically I'm gonna have it on a schedule to charge later. And actually this, I want it to be 80%. Okay. And yeah, that usually is on. Okay. So this should be, okay, I guess I did the wrong thing. I want this to be 80%. So it's typically gonna, in the schedule, it's typically gonna do 80%. Okay. But charge now, I want to put this at 95%. So that way it's 42% more than it is right now. So sitting at 53%, I want it to go 42% more, because I know it took 13 hours when I first tried 50 amp to get to get 42% charge. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna go ahead and go plug it in now. Okay, so I put this little mount right here that came with the charger. I'm gonna take this bad boy off now, and can go right in here. Okay, just turn it on. You can hear it connect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, and we'll just see here. Okay, so it's saying it will charge to 95% by 7 a.m. Hold on a second here. Oh, that's because it's automatically doing the schedule. I want to charge now though, so when I change it to charge now it's saying 1:45 a.m. to get 42%, but it's increasing right now, so that might change. So let me just do the math there. So it's 3:07 right now, if you see up in the top corner of the screen. So 3:07, that's like, is that like 10 hours? Look, like 10 and a half hours. I feel like it should be better than that. We'll see here. So let's see, got 9 hours to 12, so 10. Yeah, that's about 10 and a half hours. So definitely not as good as I thought it would be. But it is faster by roughly 3 hours, 2.5 at least. You can see it keeps going up though, so I'm wondering if it's going to change. Let's I'm going to pop out, let everything shut off, and see if it changes at all. All right, so I gave it a few minutes, probably 5 minutes really, and it's not changing. You know, it's saying it's gaining 17 miles per hour. So I guess that's it. I mean, it's still better, and I still wanted to do this either way because I want to have a charger that I leave here, and then I'm gonna use my portable one at the shop, and during the summer I'm gonna leave that one there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it back to the schedule, change my stuff around here. So I'm gonna pop this down to 80, and then we'll go back to the schedule here. So now, one thing it did say on the charger that I got, it did say that if you, so I'm just plugging it into my 50 amp outlet. It did say that if you hardwire it, then you can essentially, if it's just plugged in, its max load is 40 amps. But if you hardwire it, the max load is 50 amps. So I guess if I hardwired it, I could make it go a little faster. And maybe I'll do that someday, but right now I like it the way it is, just because then if I end up moving or something like that, I could just take this with me, so unplug it. Of course, I could do the same thing if it was hardwired. It wouldn't be that hard to just put an outlet back there and undo the wires that it's connected to. So I'll think about that one. I'm gonna plug back in here. Well, that's it for this video. Just really wanted to, you know, kind of do some testing and really kind of figure out how the charging works, kind of let you walk with me on some of my testing and some of the things I'm encountering, and also kind of figuring out how the charging fits my life, which I'll go back and say, you know, charging on 120 15 amp, it was working just fine for me, because I was getting basically double the amount of charges I needed for the stuff I do in a typical day, which means that, you know, if I need to charge up to 100%, I just maybe need half of a week or up to a week, depending on where my charge is at. And generally, you know, I'd be at 80%. So maybe I just need a few more days to get to 100% if I'm going on a long drive. But I was thinking about the summer when I'm going to be going back and forth to the shop, and that's 100 miles away. And I was thinking, okay, well, even if I get 100% before I come back home, you know, I'll probably eat up at least somewhere around, you know, 25 to 35%. And then, you know, I'll be using it during the week, and there will be some weeks through the summer where I will, you know, come back from the shop and I'll be going back down there within 3 days. And maybe 3 days isn't quite enough with me using it every day, isn't quite enough to get back to 100%. Now, I still think I'd be fine, but I think in the end, the biggest kicker for me was the fact that it can charge quick enough to be able to charge during the hours of the night where energy is the cheapest. So that was the biggest kicker for me. I mean, obviously I want this to help me save money too. Even though I spent a good amount of money on the truck, I wanted to help me save money on the long run. So anyways, that's my reasoning, and that's where it sits right now. I'll obviously do some more videos on this truck after I've used it for towing the boat a good amount, and just had some more general use with it. So I'll do another follow-up video probably next summer is my guess, on just how things have been going and how I've liked the truck in general. So so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any thoughts on this video or ideas for future videos, please leave those down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click on that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.